All right, we are on. Welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome, my beautiful Mariam. As usual, we had a beautiful talk just before our recording, and what came up today is that what better moment than this month to talk about spirituality, to talk about how we connect with spirituality, what does it mean for us, perhaps, and to really just flow and share our experiences and see how that connects with you, perhaps or not, or maybe inspire you. Um, I feel that the topic is gonna be so beautiful and blissful, and I cannot wait to dive into it more specifically. So why don't you start, Marianne? You can share maybe a bit more about what is spirituality or
Mm-hmm.
how did it create it for you, and let's just start like that, and then we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is the month of Ramadan, so it's a very spiritual place, a very spiritual month for Muslims all over the world, but not only Muslims. So I feel like um, Ramadan is really a month that even people who don't practice Islam um, feel. Like I've met a lot of people hearing the Quran. Since the Quran is not spoken, it's you sing the Quran, right? So you immediately feel connected to it because the way you sing it, it creates a certain frequency that connects you to yourself, that connects you to everyone around you, and that connects you to God. So that is the beauty about it. And I I kind of understand why people feel drawn to it, even if they didn't grow up with it. Um, and I've seen a lot of people, a lot of travelers coming to Morocco for the first time and hearing the prayer, the azan from the mosque, and immediately feeling drawn to it, or it does something to them. So that is why I feel spirituality or religion is something that can always touch you. There is no sense of you you grow up with it or you don't. You are either spiritual or you are not spiritual. It's just something that can touch you in your 50s. It can touch you when you're a young girl. It doesn't matter. It's just about how open you are to receive whatever is coming towards you. So um, it really has to do with you and not with where you grew up and how you grew up. And so that is the most important part. At least I believe in it, that you need to kind of be aware of it and make it come to you. um, but what is spirituality? That is actually a very difficult question, I think, because it is not religion. It is spirituality. It's something that I think you feel. You can strengthen it. You can practice it. You can learn about it. Same as we learn in school about different subjects. You can dive deeper into it. You can understand what is true for you, what is not true for you. But what I believe is the essence of spirituality is love. So the language of spirituality, I believe, is love. And what makes it a bit different than a religion, at least for me, is that it doesn't preach separation. There is no that is right and that is wrong. There is only this creator, there is only this source. For me, spirituality is something that only creates unity and only creates something that makes us feel more connected with ourselves first, with the source, with God, with the universe, with the creator, and through that, connected to everyone else around us, to your neighbor that you don't like, to your teacher that you don't like, to your friends that you do like, to your mom that you might like, that you don't like. I don't know, but it does connect us all because we all have this part inside us. So it makes me also kind of go into the direction of, can everyone become spiritual? Is everyone spiritual? I truly believe that we are all spiritual. I truly believe that we all have a soul, and I truly believe that we kind of decide to embrace it, but we were all born to be connected with the Creator, and then we kind of remove that connection, and maybe it will find its way back, maybe it will not find its way back, and it's okay. But I truly believe that still the spiritual part is always within you, and it unconsciously also makes you move in a certain way in life. And maybe you are someone who thinks that he or she is more a rational type of person and spirituality is not for you. And I mean, I try not to become too big in my words right now, but I truly believe science and spirituality are the same. It's completely the same. And it tries to explain life and the world in different ways, but at the end of the day, it's exactly the same, both trying to find reasons for things that are happening in life. um, just one person explaining it in this way, the other person is explaining it in that way. So yes, so these are a few little topics that I started with. I think I can go way deeper, but I think it's good to just like give the ball to you and you go a
I
bit.
love how you it, and we could just go on, and I really love everything you brought up, and I could not agree more. It's so beautiful. I mean, you said it all, and what's most beautiful is when we have two completely people that are different and grew up differently, right? We grew up in different countries, in different religions, in different upbringing, and we fell into this beautiful conclusion that God is love, the universe is love. All the spirituality we're mentioning and talking is just its true essence is surrounding love. And what I just want to add is, why do we talk so much about spirituality, religion, about feeling connected, returning to our source? When you deeply look within and sit with silence and just be, there's this truth that just comes up to you and realize that we're much more than this flesh, than what we see, that what we touch, that what we cognitively understand. So I want to bring forward that spirituality just doesn't mean I have to do that in order to be spiritual, like you said. It's woven inside of us because we're much more than our body. We're much more than our brain, right? There's something magical and something that we cannot quite grasp but feel, touch the
Mm,
heart that is actually connecting us, right?
mm,
So often we use words to express a sense, but sometimes people address and associate words with dogmas, right? And certain set of beliefs. So whatever spiritually means for you, brings out in you, I just invite you to expand it, because we just use this word to express with you that at the end of the day, for me and for you, from what I'm understanding, it's just the source of it all. For me,
mm,
spirituality is love, but love embodied in everything we do in our life. It's our true nature, it's our
mm,
true essence, it's the true reason of why we are on earth. And why it becomes more important to just acknowledge it and try to practice in your own way is because it provides you a sense of deep inner peace that nothing on this earth can provide you the same way.
mm,
And when you experience this deep inner peace, how can you walk away from it? How
mm,
can you not want to taste more of it? How can you not want to connect with it? So it might sound very cliche, but this beautiful unity that you mentioned, this beautiful universe that we are the creator of all things, right? And when we talk about creator of all things, we like to personify because the human brains understand better when we personify or when we put into stories and wordings something that is so big and immense to comprehend, right? But the creator of all things, just the oneness,
mhm,
is touching so many different things. It's just creating creations every second of our lives. It's so
Mhm.
much more bigger than what the brain can comprehend, right?
Mhm.
Let's talk about it in God, right? So it's cliche perhaps to say it, but for me, it's about love and peace. And I truly believe, like you said, that each one of us hold this frequency and this love and peace within. And this is our true essence. Because when you think about what the human deeply desire in life, what do we deeply desire? When you meet each one of them and you ask them, what do you deeply want in your life, right? Often it's going to be surrounding what? Finding the right partner, love, having a family, love, having success, right? A feeling of success in yourself, in your business, in your relationship, in anything, and health. When you think about all those things that are mainly connected, what is it deeply? It's to feel love and to have a sense of peace or a sense of reason, of meaning in what we do. So when you really sit down and realize that whether you're spiritual or not, spirituality is actually everywhere. It's woven into your DNA. It's woven into what you desire the most. It's woven into peace. It's woven into what makes you feel more empowered and healed and connected with others.
Mhm.
And everything that we're going through and everything as humanity is seeing and all this, the pain we're seeing, the suffering, the wars, everything. Truly, I ask you, what do you think will help that in the long run? What do you think that's truly going to change all of it? It will only be through peace and love. We cannot carry on with hate and stubbornness and who's right and who is wrong. Because as we keep going into this path, we see that we're just getting into a cycle of just repeating the same patterns, right? But when you break free from it and you start tasting peace and love, we feel unrushed. We feel no the need to prove it right. We just are within this peace and love. And thus,
Mhm.
I want just to conclude, quote unquote, and going with this episode that to embrace this love, then comes different practices, right? And I think we're going to talk about the beautiful Ramadan you just mentioned. I don't think religions are bad. I've come to a place where I just don't judge what is wrong and right, like you mentioned. I think that there's different ways to connect with our spirituality, with our God, with the Creator, with all things. And I think that whatever the meaning, the means you're using, is going to help you and serve you. Depends on what your journey are, depends on how you grew up, depends on what your set of belief. For me, as long as it tastes a little bit of this peace and love, then it is the right thing as of now for you. It all depends on what the level of consciousness you have.
Mhm.
I was really on a rant, like I was on my bubble at that moment. But I think that's what it is, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, beautiful. And I think that sometimes I'm thinking that can we separate spirituality from religion or not? Do they belong together? Because at the same time, I do have a lot of respect for religions as well. And I'm consciously saying religions. So, because I'm not in a position to have that much knowledge about all the religions to have a saying in that, to really speak from experience and a lot of a pool of knowledge. So with the little knowledge that I have of Islam or from the way I grew up as a Muslim, I can speak more from the feeling that I have towards my religion and the practices and culture I have towards my religion. Um, so for me, it is connected, spirituality and religion. It is something that I truly also, same as you said, think makes the world a better place. And it is something that is missing um, nowadays in school or in the way we grow up. So I think that is such an important part, not in a dogmatic way, not in a strict way, in a very open, loving, um, compassionate way to teach to people to connect with themselves. And if we talk about spirituality, for example, people are trying to find more and more different tools to connect with themselves, whether this is yoga, right? Whether this is being addicted to their sports, because even this can be a spiritual practice to some people. You can be a chef, a hobby chef at home. This can be your spiritual practice, you can be a gardener. It doesn't matter. All these things are tools that you use to connect with yourself. And that is spirituality for me. So if religion is something that makes you connected towards yourself, this can be spirituality for you. What religion also has is a beautiful way of guiding you, also like a philosophy through life, through certain values. Um, and I'm not saying that because as a yoga teacher, I know that yoga also has a big philosophy teaching you how to go through life, right? How to interact with people, how to reflect on your character, how to behave in certain situations. So as we talk about it, we can also say that yoga can be a religion, right? So if I'm going back towards Islam, if you go deeper into it, and as I said again, I am not that knowledgeable about it to share details, but I know that for me, it gives me a sense of um, guidance, and but I'm taking this guidance in a very out of a very aware situation. So I think when once you created a deep connection towards your spirituality, towards what is God to you, what is religion to you. So if you understood this, you are more aware of how to interpret states religion, and what to receive out of it and what not to receive out of it, right? So, for example, if you grow up as a young kid, being with someone teaching you, read this, learn this out of the Bible, out of the Torah, out of the Quran, doesn't matter. You are kind of in a very raw, maybe manipulated state, right? So you just take whatever comes to you. If you go back towards religion with a very open minded brain, right? With life experience, with a sense of spirituality, with a sense of what is right for you as a person, as a character, as a soul, what is not right for you. You read things in a different way. You connect to the words of the Quran in a different way because you have a different way of approaching it. So same as when we say we are in a relationship, and when we are not aware of what a beautiful partner, a healthy partner can be, we cannot see the beauty in it, right? We will only see the red flags, maybe. Can be the same for spirituality or religion. So if you are in a state of seeing the beautiful parts of it that create love and community and peace within you and within the world, then you can take out of every religion the beauty. So this is how I try to receive or perceive, do you say that? Perceive from religion or from the Quran or from the stories that I'm reading. So it's really about perspective. How do I want to, what do I want to take? What is my learning out of it? I can read the Quran in the sense of it is against women, it is for men, it is for children, it's suppressing the woman, it's making the woman like this. I can also read it in the sense of it's protecting the woman, it is making the woman stronger, it is making the woman more valuable, right? It is teaching the man to stay in a respectful way with women. So it's all about perspective, right? And you can go through like this through everything in life. So I always recommend or encourage people to, when you are ready to connect with spirituality or with religion, to do it out of a place of curiosity for yourself and really dive deep into different religions, maybe different perspectives, to go into exchange, but also take a step back to really process, to understand, go back to it again, take a step back again, and this can be a journey of a few years. No one tells you to know everything within a few years, like it's a process. You can learn through your entire life, and things can change, things can influence you, things can remove itself again. So just be aware of it and be open of it. But the source for me is always love, community, and peace. That should be like the stability or the source of everything. Yeah.
It's amazing, girl. You said so many beautiful wisdom and wise things, and I totally agree with you in every point. Like, I really connect with what you just shared, and this is exactly how I lived my own spirituality, going into reading the Bible, for example, and growing in a set of religion that wasn't really enforced me. But from a young age, I knew I needed to have this freedom to explore myself and my own spirituality, right? So when you read more and more certain passages, it evolves in you. And I think, like you said, it's important to just learn this self-discernment, right? To not be told what to think and what to feel, and to learn inside of you. How does that resonate in me? Right. And I know it's going to be challenging because people are going to say, Macy, people have been grown into being programmed, and like anything, not just religion, but dogmas, system of belief that we grow at school doing, or people telling you something repeatedly to you, you start believing it, and it becomes like your identity in a way, right? So that's where this full consciousness, for me, that is spiritually, is setting that back and having this full consciousness to discern more and more what resonates with my true essence, right?
Mm.
And you said it, everything can be a practice. Just cooking can be a spiritual practice. At the end of the day, spiritual practice, in my way, and what we're discussing, is to truly reconnect with simplicity, consciousness, peacefulness, love. You're in a place when there's no judgment. You're in a place where the ego doesn't hold power over you. And what happens and what people is associating when we mention religions, yoga, scientific movements, whatever. Um, Hello, do you hear me? I'm still here.
Yeah.
Sorry, got a
Yeah.
call. All those things. The reason why we mention religion, and I know people will think it brought us so much worse to where we are, is it existed for millennia. So it has been the foundation and the common association with spirituality, with God per se, right? And what we're exploring and what we don't know about our history is that there was other movements out of the common religions too that take into place and that discovered themselves, right? So that's why we often associate all the dogmas, but at the end of the day, it's not the religion that was the downfall of it all. It's not everything we're seeing right now today is the downfall of it all because we believe a certain set of belief. Is our I self identity with those beliefs and the ego attachment to it. So what I want to just bring forward here is, in order for us to embrace more this feeling of peace, consciousness, and love and community, like you said, is to understand also the game of the ego of itself. Because when there's love and peace, then ego has no place. There's only selflessness left, right? So no matter your set of beliefs, no matter how you lead your life, no matter what you are known for, if you are living from a place of ego or desire of power or desire to prove yourself right or try to convince others, you're not in the place of what we're claiming here, which is love, peace, and community and
Mm.
self-assertion, right? So that's what I want to just bring the differences in what we just discussed, because everything can be a spiritual practice.
Mhm.
Someone that is fully in their religion all their lives, and I've met people who are not fully spiritual in the way we just mentioned today. At the opposite, other people who've never known religions and never grew up this way, seen at them are spiritual, right? Or the opposite. It doesn't matter at the end of the day, depending on your journey. And one last thing you said is beautiful, is that it provides structure. There's no right and wrong. The yoga practice you mentioned, the Buddhism, another form of religion, another form of like following a community, it provides a sense of structure. And some people relate more with a sense of structure, to connect better with their spirituality. And that's okay, as long as it brings you closer to this sense, like we said, of peace, love, and community, right?
Mhm.
And I love everything you said. And I know it's so complex, and I know it can bring some hurt and traumas for some people when we mention some certain words here. So that's why I'm being very mindful of
Mhm.
being understanding and inclusive.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, true peace is found when there's no judgment. And when we
Mhm.
say judgment, it's not, oh my gosh, Macy, does that mean we accept everything that has been bad onto this world, or accepting, like you said, abuse of certain women, right? So abuse of certain things that we see right now. What I want to say to you is that acceptance and not judgment is not judgment is not accepting all of those things. It's just understanding what is the process we have to go through as humans, and offering peace and prayers instead of stubbornly trying to see who's right and who's not. And for me, that is true love.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it's true. Um, I I am also very careful with my words, since I also know it can be a quite sensitive topic to some people, and I have respect for it, since there are people who are into certain topics since years and created their opinion. And so I'm really trying to be sensitive with it, and see it from a different perspective, as someone who really wants to encourage, as we said, love, community, in peace. At the same time, I do value if people think that they need, or like, I do understand if people think that they need a sense of separation. So there are people who truly say that I'm practicing this, and that is what is truth to me. So we do respect this as well. It like, there is, even if we see things more in a non-judgmental way, and even those people who say, like, only this religion is my only truth, I also don't judge other people, but don't uh, like, integrate my religion with another religion or with spirituality, because my religion is my religion, and that's it. I don't want to follow something else. So we do respect this as well. And because at the end of the day, it's really about what makes sense to you, because you are an individual, so you have every right to also believe in what is right to you. The only thing that we do ask for is to not be judgmental, as you said, to stay open, to listen to other um, opinions, other views as well. But you can stay true to what is right for you, that no one tells you to open up everything, right? And I do admire even sometimes people being very dedicated to what they believe is the right thing for them, as long as it doesn't harm anyone else, right?
Mm,
That's the essence that is important. um,
mm,
Even when I see it in yoga sometimes, so we can say, even this might be even easier to compare yoga, right? Because it's not a religion. So even in yoga, you have different kind of styles. So you have the Ashtanga teacher, the Vinyasa teacher, the Iyengar teacher, everyone saying, but this is true yoga, but this is true yoga, right? So even there, I do admire teachers being super dedicated to their way of teaching, their approach of what is true yoga, as long as it doesn't harm any other yoga style, and as long as it still contributes to what we all need, love, right? um, and that's why this topic is super super sensitive, I guess. And I think if more and more people try to practice what they want to practice, but just be aware of, um, at the end, we all want the same. At the end, we all need the same, because we are all human. We are all souls. There is no separation in humanity. Nothing. that separates me from you, or you to my teacher, or to I don't know who. We are all the same, and we can feel all the same, because love is the source, it's the essence of everything.
Mhm. I love that. I mean, this was perfect to finish up on, girl. I love you said as long as we don't do harm to others in our thoughts, in our words, in our practices, and impose ourselves to others. I love that so much, and I think that's something that should be the thing to remember of today's episode. And I was imagining as you were saying, like if there's different rails, so there's different practices of religion, yoga practices, there's also meditation practices. Well, meditation can be in the other practices. Obviously, it's all connected. When you do a prayer, it's a form of meditation. When you meditate, it's a form of prayer. That's for me personally. I do both. It's all together. So all those railroads bring to the same center, which is, like you said, we all want the same thing. So you can be a expert and specialist, let's talk it like that, a specialist in one religion practice, in one yoga practice, in one meditation practice. And that's beautiful because you're meant to have this practice down, specialized to help others find their way this way. Where you're meant to be having this road, right? Other people, like you said, and I think I'm more like that, the generalist. I love to taste, test. I'm going to read other books of spiritual books that you mentioned earlier because that's my way of connecting and that's my way of learning and expanding my heart and point of view. That's going to be touching different railroads, but it's going to bring me to the same center. No matter what's your journey, that's what you said at the beginning, right? As long as it brings you to the same, like you say, the center, which is loving, appreciating, not judging, embracing. Because when
Mhm.
you taste this love, then there's no need to judge the other. There's no need to fear that the other is far away from the love that you are experiencing. No, because love is unity, like you said.
Mhm.
By its essence, by its meaning, it just fully include and connects and unify everyone by itself. And that's the beauty of what you were sharing to me before the call, the beauty of our practices. And there's really a beauty about um, the Ramadan practice you said, when you do it in a mindful way, right? Because anything you do, you can do it in a mindful way, in conscious way, or do it unconsciously, right? You do it from an external point of view, from action words like cooking. You can just do cooking by habit, or you can do cooking with a mindful way. Same goes with each practice that we're talking about right now, right?
Mhm.
And I find that what you shared was so beautiful. There's also prayer. I said to you, prayer fasting as well. There's also people that goes in yoga retreats. There's also people that goes in certain temples and just cut themselves from the modern world and just go into a meditative state. There's also people just going in festivals, right? That's known to be conscious festivals. There's other people that are just, helping the people in the streets and they're doing arts on their walls and helping people to express themselves through art and graffitis. Truly, and you said it, everything can be a spiritual practice.
Mhm.
Really. And you said as long as we don't harm others.
Mhm.
That's beautiful.
I think this was a very beautiful episode. I
Thank you
think I don't have anything to add.
so much, guys. Thank you for being present with us. You're perfectly on time. And thank you for your openness, Miriam, and for us sharing here authentically and openly. I just hope that that connects with people and understand the essence we're coming from. And I know they do because we do it in this English. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. See you on the next episode.
Thank you.